Today we'll be looking at the important new developments from Gran Turismo's patch 1.08. At the end of the video I'll be doing a recap with a broader perspective on the industry and what this means for Gran Turismo 7, so stay tuned. After a painful period of server downtime, which seems to have lasted around an entire day, and I'm sure was keenly felt by us all, Gran Turismo 7's master server finally went back up. With it came a few changes. Some good, some very much not so. Because I'm a nice guy and we deserve to start our weekends on a happy note, the good news can come first. For those experiencing critical issues with the game, such as cars not showing up in dealerships or the game not being able to progress due to a glitch in the world map, you can breathe easy and finally enjoy your game, as it appears Polyphony has sorted this out. For those like me who are stuck a single bronze license away from all golds due to a certain tire glitch, with 3 certain dirt license tests, looking at you Polyphony, we can finally rest easy as well, because those gargantuan efforts it took to get bronze will now easily get us our golds and unlock that sweet experimental Red Bull car. This makes a good segue, because cars are about to get a hell of a lot harder to buy. You know that route we used in Fisherman's Ranch to farm just shy of 100k credits every 3.5 minutes? Well, that's been utterly nerfed, as has just about any decent cash cow in GT7, and this is where we get to the operative news and the subject of this here little video: progress creep and microtransactions. I'm showing on the screen the rewards for every endgame race currently in GT7. As you'll notice, the only events granting over 50k credits tend to be fairly long, and even the 10-lap semi-endurance events don't net you a flat 100k. This can be seen as troubling for a game which contains over 400 cars, many of which cost hundreds of thousands, if not millions of in-game credits. Lucky for us, we can purchase 100k in-game credits for the small sum of $3.75. Hooray! Our savior. Now, those of us who are a little more seasoned and have been gaming since the 90s and before will know what this is about. Ever since microtransactions and loot boxes, or roulette as it's called in GT7, have wormed their way into gaming, we've seen it as the beginning of the end for organic progression. Somehow, almost like magic, despite whatever assurances developers give, the moment microtransactions hit a game, the ability to gain in-game currency or make in-game progress suddenly becomes a colossal grind. Almost as if, and bear with me guys because this is an experimental concept I'm working on, the microtransactions are there as a pressure release valve, and the more you punish your gamers for grinding through your game, the more likely they'll be to simply give up and just buy that little package to save them some precious time, and the little package after that, and then the little package after that, etc, etc. The problem here? Well, the PS5 version of the packaged game costs around $100 here in Australia. Surely, that should be enough to unlock all of its features. Surely that's enough of a financial outlay for little Bobby after having bugged his parents all year and told them about how much he wubs GT and finally got given 100 hot smackaroos to play his favorite series. Now he has to bug them for $10 every time he wants a new supercar as well? There's a great game in GT7, just waiting to be unearthed underneath the half-complete career mode. Even as a sim racer, I find its driving model really compelling and enjoy the challenge of trying to master each new car on familiar tracks. If this were integrated into more exciting events, perhaps some endurance events with a huge payday which allow us to actually incorporate pit stops and tyre strategy in a meaningful way, we could see it maximize its strengths. There's so much more that can be done with the core of this game. It appears they want the bulk of progress to be made by purchasing credit packs as microtransactions. I'd wondered since the very beginning why the roulette appeared to give me the lowest possible cash reward around 80% of the time I used the ticket, and now it makes perfect sense. Either it's there as a throwaway progression mechanic with a novelty gambling elements, or they're simply waiting to offer higher start tickets as additional microtransactions down the track. The player has been set up to lose as part of a colossal grind mechanic, which, painfully, reminds me of my tenure playing Destiny. I also wish I'd recorded those roulette sessions, because after half an hour of straight spinning, the rewards were so laughable it would have made a great reaction video. Now, a financial behemoth like Sony isn't going to be giving up microtransactions. They're just too juicy of a financial prospect. That's probably the biggest killer about MTX. They work. And they create absolute windfalls for companies, so they're not going anywhere. They'll just keep worming their way back through whichever means the marketers can squeeze them in. What this means for Gran Turismo 7? Well, I sincerely hope that Yamauchi-san has a grander vision for his title as part of a fair progression mechanic for his players. He's alluded to this in the new patch notes, as if he understands that many players have been vastly underwhelmed by the career mode experience and the relative lack of content in GT7. Nerfing what small progression there is, then replacing it with MTX is like salting a wound, and I'm sure on some level he's aware of this. However, he also has to play the political game with the publisher and walk the line of keeping players happy while also ensuring that his employees get paid and the publisher gets the growth they're so ravenous for. Let's keep an eye on this developing story over the coming weeks, as there are ongoing promises for content updates, additional events, and more ways to progress and earn in-game currency. Hit the sub to stay notified of all the juicy tidbits, and until the next one, I'll see you all later.